It's Monday night, it's RaceSpotTV, and we are live once again from the series here at Bathurst for round number 9 in the series. Bathurst always gives us phenomenal racing, so welcome, of course, to this place of racing gold. The car's nearly done with qualifying right now as we're getting ready to wrap this thing up and head to the race session now. Simon Edwards, provisional pole at the moment, as the checker flag is moments from being out here at Australia's most difficult circuit. That is time on the board right now, so we are going to go to your starting order. Simon Edwards on the pole tonight with Kane Halliburton second place with him. Clay Hughes and Bill Fraser behind them with 5th place. Ben Daniels with Matt Cox, Clark Williams, Nicholas Vaughan Roberts in 8th with Daniel J. Cook, Darryl Taylor in 10th. Jack Hobbs, Ewan Patterson, Sarah Savage, S.J. Dunning, Anthony Jones in 15th place with Adrian Hendy, Ethan Bass and Daniel Tuff, Kieran O'Flynn and Michael J. Taylor in 20th. Rest of the results on your screen. We've got a big field tonight, 46 cars on our 1 second bracket. Well, that'll take us to a 30.9. And Bathurst certainly is a brutal circuit. 15 cars in that bracket for once. So only me tonight here in the broadcast booth, but we are still going to have a fantastic race here as we get ready for this one. The cars taking their spots now on the starting grid here. Wow. Mount Panorama. It is certainly a difficult circuit in any car. Never mind racing in these little things, it gives you the illusion of space, but there's no way to escape at Bathurst. Couple of moments left on the grid now as the final cars take their positions, and we are ready to go. We have 10 laps round the circuit here tonight, of course, and weather at the moment 66 degrees Fahrenheit with a track temperature of 73. Winds 2 miles an hour from the north with 20% humidity, so we're pretty cold and pretty dry at the moment here in Australia. So very unusual conditions, but it is winter down here at the moment. No, summer. Yeah, they're upside down. It's the summer right now in Australia, so it's incredibly cold, actually, for once. The engines rev on the cars now. We get ready for racing action here from Bathurst. Green flag flies, and it's a very, very slow start compared to normal. Not sure if that was just deceptive appearance on the racetrack, but they get away as Edwards leads them into Hell Corner for the first time tonight. No sign of Antonides, no sign of Ward. This field is looking naked of our championship contenders. Fraser in 4th place, looking to get points here, valuable to his championship efforts. Not likely to win this season, but he could recover some decent points, of course. Kane Halliburton will be wanting to work here on Simon Edwards. See what he can do to try and rein in some points for himself. Looking for a top 3 finish this season. Is Halliburton had a great start to the year. But Edwards, the man with the plan, the one in the charge of the championship, has a real opportunity here if he can secure a free win, of course, over the other drivers. He has had some drop weeks, of course, so a bonus win round with the others not scoring would definitely help his cause. First time up mountain now, and looking back at our field, it seems to have been a pretty clean start at the moment, no real problems. Bit of 2 wide racing back in the pack. Looking down here at the moment at the likes of Peter Parnell and John McGovern, the 9. They've been racing 2 wide, climbing up the mountainside here at the back of the field, down in 32nd place, but right now filtering single file. Over the crest, the leaders will come now down through the Hurry Downs and to the Dipper for the treacherous descent down the mountain here at Bathurst. Seems like they climbed the hard part, but oh, big junk going through the Hurry Downs and towards the Dipper, actually. In fact, it was in the Dipper. We'll get a replay here to show you what happened for you. But it, I believe, began with a 2.25. Easy for me to tell. Daniel J. Cook was involved. His car was backwards looking at the camera. He ran in wide, hit the outside wall there. You'll see the replay. Bounces out into traffic and is hit by about 4 other cars. One of the worst places for an accident at Bathurst. In fact, the most common location of accidents at Bathurst. As we look back to the lead now. Through the chase. We're approaching, and Halliburton has passed Edwards. The lead, of course, it will be changed quite often on this straight here, Conrod Straight, leading down to the chase and the Armorall Bridge, of course. The draft in these Skip Barber cars, if you're 3rd or 4th, doesn't have much of an impact, of course, but I keep saying, of course, I'm not sure why. doesn't have much of an impact. But for the leader in second place, you'll see them change place a lot, as we're seeing here again. Kane Halliburton now passed by Simon Edwards, who won't be registered as leading the first lap. He qualified for pole 4, but he's back out in front by turn 1. Halliburton looks to answer. Moves to the inside line. Claire Hughes could be in for a very, very good result for himself today, if he can keep this one going. Moves up to second place now behind Edwards, but has he got a way to dive through to the lead here? No space on the track as they come into turn number 2 now. Up, climbing the way up the mountain now, about to arrive at Castrol Cutting, one of the trickier corners on the climb up. In fact, the slowest corner on the climb, just past here. Turn number 4, the Castrol Cutting itself. A tight left-hander, climbing uphill. Low gear corner there for the cars to come around and just get dug in as the camber changes and throws them up the hillside before they begin the rising effort towards the top and then the dive down the mountain. This is like a roller coaster, but without crash barriers or vomit or screaming children. So it's good, basically. There's literally nothing wrong with Bathurst. It's probably one of the best tracks, I think, in the world. It's my personal favourite just because of the technical drive you can experience here. It's one of those circuits that really has flavour and character. It's got climbs, it's got descents, it's got twists, turns, camber changes. It's narrow, it's challenging, and more importantly, there's nowhere to run off. There are very few run-off areas at Bathurst. You make a mistake, you will pay for it now as they come through Forest Elbow for the second time to run it down, and it's Claire Hughes in second place ahead of Halliburton. Fraser back in fourth place, looking to make a move here, but Edwards had a great launch out the corner. Claire Hughes not so much, lags back there as they approach the kink now down the long Conrad Straight. Bill Fraser with a good run, won't be enough to get him past though. Edwards should lead this lap, but he will be under threat from Claire Hughes in a moment once they get towards the start-finish line in the Armor Bridge here, but the hurry downs, not the hurry downs, sorry, I do apologise, the chase, that section there, the chicane section, one of the biggest braking zones in the track, of course, after that huge run down Conrad with the draft through the final corner. Across the line he'll come as the race leader, Simon Edwards, Claire Hughes, Kane Halliburton, Bill Fraser, your top 4. Behind them, the gap already 2 seconds back now to Ben Daniels with Matt Cox and Clark Williams in that trio just behind them. Vaughan Roberts just lagging back by about half a second behind them with Darrell Taylor, Jack Hobbs and Ewan Patterson. Further adrift of field separating out very early on here, but Bathurst, one of those tracks that really does become a single file race with small pods of cars separating out and racing each other. Gaining a lot of time here, not too possible, so the drivers all trying their best to get into an optimal position. We had that big crash, of course, early on where we had the typical kind of mistakes we see in these events. Tom Ward had a terrible start to the race, of course, qualified 40th. Which means I think he didn't qualify, actually no, he didn't set a time, and he got wrecked out, so unfortunately Tom Ward retiring from this event. Up towards the lead, and it is Hughes leading the race for one of the first times in his career out front of someone like Simon Edwards. A fantastic job here from Hughes, coming through Lukey Heights up towards Skyline now. The Welsh driver out front here, Monday Night Skippys, as they're going to begin the drop down across Skyline through the hurry down towards Dipper. Difficult to get the car settled on those big curbs there. Designed for Viet supercars, not Skip Barber race cars, as they'll come through here. A lot of the curbing around Bathurst is quite tall. It's a lot like Montreal, where you have the big NASCAR curbing around that circuit. Even though it's the same layout as Formula 1, the iRacing version is actually the version used during the NASCAR events that took place at that circuit for the Nationwide Series. And Bathurst, well, it hosts GT cars and it hosts Viet supercars. Open wheel cars really not very common here, as Edwards could go for a move back on Hughes towards the kink. Will Halliburton come with him? Stays in line for the time being. Through the kink and the big braking now after that fast corner. Almost a flat corner at the kink, and then it's hard on the brakes immediately as you come out of that corner and pull across to the right hand side. Do the hurry down. Edwards using all the track to his advantage. Through the final corner, and Gotta be careful not to grab too much of that curb. I've seen one too many drivers spinning out after clipping a bit too much of that apex curb. They'll come across the line again. Beginning lap number 4 here, rapidly approaching the halfway point in this event. It's just behind them. Ewan Patterson in that 31 machine, chasing Hobbs and Taylor at the moment. Hobbs and Taylor have been racing pretty hard. We might see a pass attempted here by the 361 of Hobbs. Can he get up behind Daryl Taylor here? Can he do something with this? We're going to have a quick look on board here with Jack Hobbs as he comes up behind Taylor. Alongside he goes. Into the drop now before the approach to turn 2. He has the line ahead, but he's not going to be fully over. We remember what happened last time here with Antonides and Ward, both running very wide, trying to take outside lines, but it holds on for there. Great pass by Jack Hobbs on Daryl Taylor here. Secures that spot now, moves himself up to the 9th position. Towards the lead. Still a very close foursome now. Edwards, Hughes, Halliburton and Fraser. Conga line as they climb up the mountainside. The hardest part of their job is still here. A fantastic run regardless. 2-2-2. Daryl Taylor's had a crash climbing the mountain. Not what he wanted to see happening. We'll have a quick look at this one for you, and it was coming through. Castro cutting. Oh, he came in too tight into the corner. Lost the back end. Clipped the curb. Countered. Ran wide. Clipped the outside curb. And oh, contact with the car behind him. That was a 31 who'd been watching that fight. Ewan Patterson, innocent victim there. Caught up in Taylor's crash. Long limp back to the pit road for him. Forest Elbow now for your lead group. We'll watch again. Get clear Hughes. Get past Simon Edwards this time by. As we'll enter the halfway lap this time by. Doesn't look to be quite the same draft we've seen in previous laps here, as Clear Hughes not quite sucking up as much as Halliburton has in the previous laps. Content perhaps to ride behind Edwards for now, rather than put himself in a victim spot later on in the race. We're seeing some tactics here from the Welsh driver, getting himself ready for the end of this race, psyching out Edwards as staying behind him, not wanting to get too involved in a struggle for the lead itself. But also this foursome of cars staying in line here. They are massively opening up their gap to the cars behind them, of course. Daniels falling back about another half a second to your leaders. They're now 3 seconds adrift of that lead foursome of Edwards, Hughes, Halliburton and Fraser into Hell Corner. We'll see again an attempted pass possible, but it seems as though either Hughes is getting bad corner exits because Halliburton closed up quite a lot on him, or perhaps we're seeing some tactical line following here. The guys spreading out to get some air on the intakes for those cars. Overheating a major problem in the Skip Barbers, but Edwards and Hughes stay in line. No passing really attempted. It looks as though people laid off the gas here to avoid passing. So keeping in line, making a break with the rest of the field. So they decide this race amongst themselves. Bold and very sensible strategy from these drivers, giving a real advantage towards the end. One too many times we've seen leaders battling and bring 4 cars suddenly into a group of 5 to 10 to 15 cars. So losing time on the racetrack can have a dramatic effect on your chances. Right now, these guys know a couple more laps will have enough room to race us out for a real finish here at Bathurst. And the Welsh driver of Hughes could be looking at a chance here for a first win around the mountain. What a reward that would be. To win at a track like Bathurst would be huge. Edwards has to realize he's being gunned for by the guys behind him. Hughes, Halliburton and Fraser all want this more than he does. For Edwards, this is a safe points day to win today, but those 3 drivers behind him all have something to prove here at the mountain. Here he comes in now. Out of Forest Elbow, what will we see? Once again, lagging back by Hughes. It could be that he's just worse out of the corners than Edwards, but he does seem to be pulling out of the draft there to not get involved. It seems like all of them not trying to get in the draft of Edwards. So we're seeing a tactical waiting game here as we get towards the end of lap number 5 from your lead cars. Seeming very, very obvious now that this is in fact an intentional move from the drivers behind Simon Edwards. So he's got to feel threatened. Into the final corner now, and Same conga line happening. No real change. Edwards runs a bit wider here. Could this be an opportunity? Halliburton looks to the outside. No real advantage speed-wise. All of them slot back in place behind that group. Daniels leading the way from Clark Williams. Big movers so far. Ethan Bass 17th into 10th place. Anthony Catt 24th to 11th. 13 places up for him. James McRitchie 21st to 12th. So a big group of cars there moved together almost towards the front. We've had 31st to 18th for Peter Cowan, as well as 30th to 22nd for Tony Stack here. We'll have a look back here at Tony Stack, in fact, in the 81. Heading through Hell Corner now with an attack from behind the 53 car. Kieran O'Flynn, who he just passed. O'Flynn doesn't want to give this one up and looks like he might challenge back here on Stack's machine as they run down towards the dip under the Petters Bridge. Towards turn 2, will O'Flynn make a move here, or will he stay in line? Chooses to follow. But a real opportunity there for Flynn to try and get something done with this one. Stack made the move, a nice late move at the end of the lap, but could still be usurped here on the climb. Fraser has made a move now on Halliburton in your lead group. He's moved up from 4th now to 3rd here. Taking the spot of Halliburton now as they go through the dipper. Made that pass on the climb. We just didn't get it on camera, unfortunately, but big move there by the Scots driver. Did a hurry down. So we see a different racing action here on Hughes. As we also have Hughes past Edwards on the climb as well. So that's one we just didn't spot. So now it's Edwards versus Fraser situation. When we see an attempted move by the Scottish driver, our former leader. Halliburton staying out of line, doesn't want to get drafted too hard. Edwards sucking up now on the car of Hughes. Seeing a very different racing strategy here from Edwards. He does want to get back past, does want to control this race. Not really going to have a chance here on Hughes. Was thinking about using an inside line into the cutting, but... or into the chase, I apologize, but didn't go for it in the end. And you'll see exactly what damage this has done to their lead now as Edwards looks to the inside for the final corner. Will he dive for it? No, pulls back in line. Chooses wisely to take a more sensible approach through the corner. We'll have a far better opportunity to pass here across the line. But look at what the fighting, even a couple of position changes, has done to their timing. They had 3.3 seconds advantage over Clark Williams in the 5th spot. Now, it's down to 2.9. They lost 0.4 of a second in a lap because they changed 2 positions. This is how staying in line gives you much, much bigger time advantages. Here comes Edwards to the outside now. Halliburton moves out, but looks like he's trying to stay in position here as Fraser looks to move as well. Goes behind Edwards. We see an outside line pass here in turn 2. Can he hold it? Unlike the cars from Swestmaster Bavano, who destroyed their machines, taking the outside line through 2. Edwards secures it. Brave pass around the outside there for that number 52 machine. Got it done when he needed to. Carry just the right amount of speed through now. Climbing up the hill is Edwards, Hughes, Fraser, Halliburton, your top 4 behind them. Clark Williams, Ben Daniels in the 6th spot, Matt Cox, Vaughan Roberts, Hobbs and Bass in 10th place. Bass leading a train there of himself. Catt and McRitchie, the drivers who've moved up all quite a few positions at the racetrack, but spread out though. Vaughan Roberts, a solo act here in 8th place ahead of him. It's the trio of Cox, Daniels and William, although Daniels back ahead of Clark Williams. Lead group will see an attempt maybe here at Forest Elbow. Edwards will lead them through again when we see Clear Hughes' signature holding back down the straight. Oh, we see an attack from the Welsh driver here. He's tasted the lead. Will he go for it again? Seems to be holding off again. I'm not sure if he's trying to go for this one, but pulls out wide. Not taking it. Will Fraser take advantage of the gap he's opening up? Not yet, he doesn't. Fraser looks to be going for the outside, so Fraser willing to take the gap that Clear Hughes does not want to use. Goes to the outside. Will he dive for the inside? Stays back in line. Sensible move there by the Scots driver through the chase. Edwards commanding once again here, but Bill Fraser nearly went for a very risky move there. Perhaps seeing something on the track that he thought to his advantage more than otherwise, but Remember, Fraser, a former champion, knows how to race around tracks like this one, and this in particular, but previous times he's won, he's been out front for most of the race, so a driver that can lead at Bathurst, but probably one of the fewer times we're seeing him having to struggle to make places at Bathurst. Edwards, good launch out of Hell Corner there. On to lap number 8 here of 10. Only 2 more times after this run up the mountain straight, leading to the climb of all climbs in racing circuit history. Around the outside goes Hughes. Can he make it stick? Can Edwards hold the inside line? Edwards does. Far better line there, and Hughes doesn't hold the gas in and run wide like the Movano cars have in previous races. He keeps himself on the track but loses speed doing so. Nice defensive run there by Simon Edwards, as now through to second place will come Bill Fraser, and we'll see some real action this time as we go down Conrad Straight. You will not only take your eyes off this. This could be a monumental fight now. If I was Halliburton and Hughes, I'd be dropping back here waiting for the fireworks, because Bill Fraser now in an attacking position and attacking speed here as they come up through Lukey Heights. Over the crest, towards Skyline they'll come. Fraser hounded gearbox to Simon Edwards here as they drop off Skyline through the hurry down and towards Dipper now. The white and red machine of the Scottish driver really pushing here. Descending down the hill. How will his exit from Forest Elbow be? This will be telling. Does Fraser go for a big launch? Does he go for a pass? Or does he pull a Hughes and pull it wide, trying to stay in position in a holding pattern rather than utilizing that draft is so effective from second place? Not a great launch, but not the worst. He is gaining time, but it won't be enough time to make a pass here on Edwards. But Fraser definitely isn't holding back on this run. Closing in now as they approach the kink. May not be enough. Just arrives as they approach the turning for the kink. Not going to be there in time. Stays in second place now. Into the chase. There'll be 2 more laps as they'll come to the line now. 2 more laps and we'll see the final decisions made in this race for these drivers. Who will finish where? Which driver here will miss out on a podium spot as they begin lap number 9. Behind them, Clark Williams leading that trio there from 5th place, with Matt Cox and Ben Daniels back in 7th now. Shuffled to the rear of that pack in only just a lap. Gap 3.4 seconds between Clark Williams, by the way, and Ken Halliburton in that lead group. So they've opened that up again by another 0.3 of a second here, as seeing a move there by Matt Cox here in the 8.66 on the outside of Clark Williams. Goes around the outside before the entry to 2. Secures it nice and neat with the bow. Is up ahead. Fraser having some problems. Hughes goes through. Halliburton goes through. Fraser ran very wide there through 2, losing some ground. Drops him back to the rear of his pack here, and that's got to be a heartbreaking feeling there as Hughes runs wide. Possibly an opening for Halliburton here as they climb the hill. Second to last time of the race, they will come up this straight, twisting through the woods. When, if you are Claire Hughes, Bill Fraser or Ken Halliburton, when do you make that move? When do you take the fight to Simon Edwards and make this race interesting? We'll surely find out in just a few moments, but down across Skyline it is. In towards the Dipper. This corner really drops away from you in the car. It looks flatter on the screen for you at home, but boy, that corner, you literally get thrown through it by the car. Once you start the turning in process, the car hooks and rolls around that corner and it just takes you with it. It's an absolute roller coaster, named, of course, after the Big Dipper, but it certainly feels like one here. Is a huge launch there by Edwards. Once again, the holding back approach or the poor corner exit from Claire Hughes leaves a big gap to Edwards. A comfortable run down towards the kink and the chase. Fraser going for a move here on Halliburton, goes to the outside. Halliburton kind of pushing him towards the exit of the track. Fraser holds it wide, stays inside of him, dives into the chase entrance. Scottish driver makes a spot there, up to 3rd place now. And to renew his attack on the likes of Claire Hughes, but Edwards a little wide on the exit of the chase. This will be the final lap now. Next time they come through this corner, it'll be the final lap here at Bathurst for round number 9 of Monday Night Skippies. We're into the final moments, and boy, this one's going to be one you do not want to miss. Now we see whether Claire's been hanging back or just unable to really match Edwards in the corner exits. A weak exit there from turn 1 for Hughes, but an opportunity still for him to really make a difference towards the end of this lap. Will we see him deliberately go for the moves, put more power in at the corners? Heading up now through the dip under the Pedders Bridge towards turn number 2. Draft is kicking in here. Will he go to the outside? Can he hold it? Fraser goes outside as well. Oh God, big dive by Halliburton. Throws it up the inside. Both of them slow out the corner. Here comes Fraser. Can he make himself known in this situation? 3 wide would have been very bold at Bathurst, but look at this for Edwards. He must be laughing in his rearview mirror as the cars behind him all duke it out, and he's allowed to run away here. Claire Hughes still holding off Halliburton, but Fraser kind of mugged by that situation now. Simon Edwards opening a gap that could give him this race, especially out of the Forest Elbow corner down the Conrad Straight. Being out of that draft range will be a huge advantage to him if he can hold this gap. If anything, this could give him the race. One more time. Over Skyline they'll come. Through the hurry down. Getting every apex right. Through the dipper now. The car glues in. Twists and turns through the chicane. Almost as if it's on rails. Now the big braking zone for Forest Elbow. This is critical. What will we see? Simon Edwards does it well. Halliburton does it well. Hughes, Fraser both do it well, but not a great exit again for Claire Hughes. Now would have been the time to pull out the magic. And it's a good gap here. Commanding gap for Simon Edwards now as they run down towards the kink. Fraser dives to the outside. 3 wide behind Edwards. Halliburton, Hughes, and Fraser 3 wide into the kink. 2 wide. Halliburton and Fraser. Gap really brought down now to Edwards, but it's not going to be enough as Halliburton battles for second. Contact with Fraser. Both of them go wide. Claire Hughes has got their full head of steam, and the Welsh driver will come through behind them as 2 drivers battling for second made contact with each other. Paid the price, but Simon Edwards across the line, and Claire Hughes claims second place. Bill Fraser 3rd, and Kane Halliburton in 4th. What a finish we just had there. That was phenomenal from these guys. Very exciting final lap, and a little bit of mistakes from both Halliburton and Fraser not giving each other room led to them both losing time and dropping positions to the Welsh driver. So congratulations to Hughes for keeping his pace there, managing to find out and read the cars ahead of him, because critical avoiding action gave him that second place. So well done Hughes there. And now our post-race results. Edwards comes home with a win today in round number 9 at Bathurst, with Claire Hughes in second, Bill Fraser, Kane Halliburton and Clark Williams your 5th place. Ben Daniels, Matt Cox, Jack Hobbs with Vaughan Roberts and McRitchie in 10th. Ethan Bass is 11th place with Anthony Catt, Adrian Hendy, Peter Cowan, Christopher Kelsey 15th with Tom Barry, Simon Maltby, SJ Dunning, Tony Stack and Michael Taylor in 20th. Rest of those positions up on your screen as well. Bathurst never fails to disappoint here in the Monday Night Skippies series. Always fantastic racing action here, of course. I'm out of breath. Doing Bathurst on your own is a very difficult challenge, so you will forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, if we bow out a little early tonight. We're going to wrap this one up. We will see you same time next week for more racing action as we near the end of the season and the points really hot up. Thanks for watching.